Hi everybody, Nathan Ronen, CFA here with another update for Level 1, Level 2, and Level 3 candidates looking to take their CFA exams in the near future and whether or not they are studying correctly and using the correct types of problems that they should be looking at to pass their exams. If you'd like to continue receiving these updates on a bi-weekly basis or weekly basis as I post them, please press the subscribe button now and the notifications button, and you will continue to be alert as to changes and the developments in the CFA world. I get this question oftentimes, hey Nathan, I'm studying for the Level 1, or I'm studying for the Level 2, or I'm studying for the Level 3 exam. And I'm really going and doing a lot of stuff. I'm putting in 200 hours, 300 hours, 400 hours, whatever the number of hours are, but I'm just not sure I'm going to pass this exam. And I say, well, okay, how are you preparing for it? Well, I'm using prep books from XYZ company, and I'm also doing all the questions in the qbank. Wow. I got to tell you, that's kind of astounding to me, because if you actually look at that methodology, that's really what I call shortcuts to trying to pass any exam in the CFA program. That's really just insufficient. And if you look at the pass rates at Level 1, around 35, 40%. If you take a look at the pass rates at Level 2, 40, 45%. If you take a look at Level 3, 45 to 50%. Obviously, something is really wrong because the majority of the people are not passing. And one of the reasons is because they're not doing the right kinds of problems. They're underestimating the caliber of the questions that are actually asked on the Level 1, Level 2, or Level 3 exams. Now, what people are succumbing to in many cases, or actually the trap that they're falling into, is they're thinking quantity is better than quality. If I do the 10,000 questions in the qbank that CFA Institute gives me at Level 1, or the few thousand that they give me at Level 2 and Level 3, and I do all of those, I'll be well prepared for the exam. Well, in theory, that's a lot of questions, and I just don't think that you need to do so many questions because many of them are repetitive, okay? But that's up to you. What I would suggest to you is absolutely do questions, practice, but do quality questions that are more in sync or in line or on the caliber of what you should anticipate on the CFA exam. So people say to me, but Nathan, I'm looking at, the blue box questions or the gray box questions in the modules. I'm doing the end of chapter questions, then I'm doing the qbank questions. Well, the qbank that CFA gives you as part of the learning ecosystem, some of those questions are actually duplicated as end of chapter or blue box, gray box questions. So you're really just doing the same questions over multiple times. Also, when the CFA Institute is giving you these qbank questions, or even a prep provider is giving you qbank questions as part of their package, a lot of these questions are very linear. They're testing a specific topic, and they're asking you a question from that specific reading to see if you understood what you read. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that should not be translated as that's what I'm going to see on my exam. Because on the exam, many of the questions at Level 1, Level 2, Level 3 are going to integrate concepts along different LOSs, different modules, different readings, and different topics. To kind of illustrate just very briefly, without going into too much detail, Level 1, Level 2, and Level 3 all have the concepts of duration and convexity permeating the fixed income section of the readings. Now, a lot of times what candidates will do is they'll do a lot of questions, mathematical, because they love those math questions, where they'll say, okay, the effective duration is this, and the change in the interest rates is this number of basis points, and the convexity is this, solve for the percentage change in the price of the bond, or solve for the percentage change in the price of the portfolio. Those are fine. Those are mathematical questions. Could it show up on the exam? Yeah, it could show up on the exam. But if everybody's doing those same calculations, they're going to get it right on the exam. So what does the CFA Institute do? They don't release their actual questions to you. They haven't released the actual questions to the Level 1, 2, or 3 exam for many, many years. So what they'll do on the exam, for example, is they'll take it up or ratchet it up a notch and see, does the candidate understand the concepts from different angles? Do they understand it from the different topics? Do they understand it and can they take it to the next level? So maybe instead of asking you to calculate the percentage change in the price of the bond, or the change in yield, or the the effective convexity or the effective duration. Maybe they would ask you a question like this. Now again, I'm going to give it to you, but I'm not saying this is on your exam. I'm just giving this to you as a hypothetical example. If COA believes that the yield curve is going to be stable, what action should he take? A, buy mortgage-backed securities and buy convexity. B, sell mortgage-backed securities and buy convexity. Or buy mortgage-backed securities and sell convexity. And then you're going to sit there on the level 1 or level 2 and even on the level 3 exam and say, I remember duration, I remember convexity, and I remember them talking about mortgage-backed securities and mortgage pass-through securities in the readings. I guess B sounds good. That's not the way to take this exam. Now, if you want to know the answer is actually C. You would buy mortgage-backed securities and sell convexity. You don't know why? Well, maybe then you should consider working with me and learning the material the way you need to know it for the exam, and not just linear slam dunk type of questions like calculate this, calculate that, or just, if you think interest rates are going to go down, should you buy a callable bond or a puttable bond? That's not the way the exam is structured anymore. They're taking it to the next level, and that's why a lot of candidates walk out of there, and whether they're discussing this on some of the platforms out there like Reddit or Analyst Forum or whatever's out there these days, they will say, oh, the level 2 was a lot harder than I thought, or the level 1 was very different from the mock exams that I did. Well, you're doing the wrong mock exams. You're looking at the wrong types of questions. You're focusing too much on linear and slam dunk type of questions. You're going for quantity over quality, and it's proving itself on the exam. So if you'd like to see the correct way to study, the correct types of problems to do, and integrate the concepts and learn them so that you can understand them at level 1, level 2, and level 3, I suggest you work with me and Chalk and Board. You can see samples of the way I teach on my website or even on my YouTube channel. And again, it's Nathan Ronen, and my company is Chalk and Board, and you could visit my website at chalkandboard.org. That's CHALK and AND board, BOARD. That's chalkandboard.org. My email address is there and my phone number is there. You could text me or you can email me, and I'd be happy to help you to pass your level 1, level 2, or level 3 exam, because all of my videos and all of my mock exams have those kinds of questions where they integrate the material the way the exam does. And I will show this to you throughout the program. Good luck to you, and I hope I'll be working with you soon.